Alright guys, today we are back here on the HUNter Call of the Wild. We are headed out here on Medved Taiga, and this time we are beginning a brand new single player grind, on this case for another of the rares we still haven't gotten, which is the melanistic Reindeer. And you may be wondering what happened with the Warfall grind on Revontoli Coast and with the Blackbear grind on Silver Ridge Peaks. Well, I still plan to continue those grinds, but I just wanted to add a bit more variety to my upcoming Call of the Wild content, especially considering that we're still a few months away from the upcoming map most likely. So we really gotta try new stuff in order to not get burned out with the recent lack of content, because a lot of times after playing this game for several years, it can be tough to find things that feel fresh enough to give you enough motivation to put in the time that these videos require to be produced. Hence something like this Reindeer grind here on Medved, which is something I've never done before, could definitely have the potential to become something special and something that feels a bit different to the kind of content I normally make on this channel. So I'm definitely excited to begin this grind and see where it takes us. It will be interesting. Actually, I'm gonna show you my setup here. You'll notice that the vast majority of my tents and tripods are placed around this region, and the reason for that is because apparently most of the, if not all the reindeer that you kill here tend to respawn within the same region, which is a huge advantage because you don't have to cover their entire home range in order to get the amount of kills that are necessary to get the diamonds and rares you want. You can perfectly set up all of your 16 tents within this area, and you won't have to worry too much about any trophies respawning on areas you are not covering. Now that is a huge reindeer, no way. It is truly huge. 426 to 505 estimate. I gotta say I have high hopes for this guy. I mean, I'm pretty sure that is the big diamond rag, so it is pretty much a guaranteed diamond. And it could perfectly be above 450. I don't think I've ever gotten a true rags reindeer above 450. So it'll be crazy if this one is that big, because I'm currently only 116 kills into a grind and we haven't gotten a single diamond, only 2 trolls. Now, talking about the loadout I've been using the majority of the time on this grind, my main weapon so far has been the semi-automatic 300. You know, it is needless to say that it is an unethical caliber for reindeer, but the reason I use it is simply because it is overpowered, making it very easy to drop these guys and potentially saving you a lot of time that otherwise you would spend tracking wounded bulls when using a lighter caliber. Also, apart from the 300, I've been also carrying the 308 and the crossbow, which is the weapon we'll be using on this guy. So I wanna get to about 40 meters. We are not too far. And yeah man, that rag is the big diamond rag, definitely. They don't get any bigger. Now we should be roughly 45 meters out. So let's go for it. And that's it, that was a hard shot. Very nice way to drop that monster, and I'm pretty sure there was also a herd over this side. Right there. If I'm not mistaken, I spotted only one bull as I was going for the level 5, so it's not a great deal, but still. I mean, definitely a rather mediocre herd, but I guess one bull is better than nothing. Now I really wanna see the score of this reindeer. It has a very promising rag, and as I said, I wouldn't be surprised if it scores higher than 450. It would be amazing if it does. Looks massive. Let's see a score. 454.71. 454.71, what a trophy. Maybe the biggest true rags reindeer I've gotten so far. Like really. You know, it's not like I have many of these guys, so it is likely. And it's crazy because this guy is literally the first diamond of the grind. I would have expected to get such a big diamond at some point, but definitely not as the first one. Well, I've no idea for how long that cow's been there, but apparently it is a leucistic. I was not expecting to see a leucistic female. I mean, it's gotta be an initial spawn from months ago, because I don't think I've killed more than 2 females on this grind. And the odds of one of those 2 females respawning as a leucistic are incredibly low. So it's gotta be an initial spawn. I don't know how I didn't see it before though, because I've been on this lake like 3 or 4 times before and somehow I never saw it. But I will take it. Let's shoot her. She's currently facing the other way, but we can make her turn around by shooting that male. And I assume that was a barrel. I'm not even completely sure if it was in fact leucistic or if it was an albino, because from a distance they look similar. Well, now that I see it from closer, I can tell it is definitely leucistic. You can easily tell by the black eyes and that greyish tone that is not completely white. So it is gonna be a nice addition to a lodge. Not the greatest rare, especially since it is only a female, but it's still a nice addition, nice trophy. Holy, look at the size of those antlers. Look at the size of that reindeer, it is a level 5. He's gotta be diamond because that is seemingly the big diamond rack. And in case you are wondering if I'm using herd management on this grind, the answer is not, because I don't see any reason to use it when my goal is to get a melanistic, and herd management does not help to spawn rares. So I don't think it's worth spending all the extra time that herd management requires to work properly if it is not gonna help us achieve the ultimate goal of this grind. We are simply gonna kill as many males as possible using our current setup, and at some point the melanistic has to spawn. It is impossible to know how many kills it's gonna take us, but normally, at least based on my past experience with similar grinds, normally the first melanistic spawns within the first 2000, 3000 kills. I mean, they are rare, maybe close to be as rare as a great one. Now, for some reason this level 5 is attentive. I imagine there's a lynx in the area, although I cannot see it. So let's hope he doesn't spook. Okay. We dropped a second. Now I'ma try to drop a third one with the 300. Can we drop another one? Well, I guess that's gonna be enough. Not too bad. Would have been nice to drop a fourth one, but we got 3. At a first glance I thought this reindeer had the big diamond rack, but now that I see it from closer I can see that it actually has half big rack and half medium rack, which is still enough to consider it a guaranteed diamond, but it's probably not gonna score as high as the first one. And by the way to tell if a reindeer has the big rack is simply by paying attention to the posterior time, because the posterior time on the big rack is much thicker than the one you see on the medium rack, and it doesn't have the time split that you usually see on the smaller versions. So as for the score of this level 5, a 449.91, huge diamond. What a monster. And look at the weight, 181.87 kilos, it is actually heavier than the first diamond, but it didn't score as high. Now we are 341 bulls into the grind. We are currently on this lake, which so far has been one of the most important spots of the grind since it is simply full of reindeer. And over there, I just spotted a monster. A massive level 5 with a top estimate of 484. I'm pretty sure this one is the 9th level 5 of the grind, 6 of which have been trolls, which is actually kinda lucky because these reindeers are very famous for trolling a lot, and a normal rate would be something like 2 diamonds per every 10 level 5s. I mean, this guy is a giant, there's no way it is not a diamond, so we're gonna approach him because from this tripod we're quite far. Well, it seems they are leaving the zone. We are a couple minutes past 8 o'clock, so they are heading towards a red zone at the moment. Less than 200 meters out already. We are getting close to 150. I wanna try to hit the heart, so the closer the better. I'ma use the Zarza. Can we hit the heart on the 5? Nope. At least it was a barrel, he is going down. We are gonna conclude this hunt by claiming this diamond potential, which from what I can tell has a very similar rack to the last diamond. Looks decent. It looks pretty good, maybe a 450 plus. 450.3 is my guess, let's see. Ooh, 447.33. Really big diamond, love to see it. The 3rd diamond of the grind. Would have been nice to hit the heart on this one, but look at how close we were. We ended up missing by an inch. And it is crazy to see that the 3 diamonds we have gotten so far on this grind have all been above 181 kilos and 2 of them really close to the max weight. So honestly, we've had a pretty decent start to this grind and I can't wait to see what else we're gonna find on upcoming hunts.